Yes, welcome to Podcast Fandom Premium. I'm your host, Nina.
I'm Donald.
And I'm John.
And we are back to discuss Loki Season 1, Episode 4. I have to sneeze. Season 1. Wait!
That's a
Sorry!
weird ass title.
I tried to cut the sneeze off. That was too slow. It was like that wasn't even a satisfying sneeze.
It
It's more
sounded
like
like
a
a
spit thing than anything. Ugh, that was weird. Anyway, we're here to discuss Loki Season 1, Episode 4, the Nexus event. But before we do that, we're going to shoot the shit. Shooting the shit is just random talk before we talk about the episode. And if you are listening to us shoot the shit, that means that you are either listening on iTunes or Stitcher. If you're listening to us for free, I should say, that means you're listening on iTunes or Stitcher. On I forgot that we're on Spotify. Do you know
yeah.
however do you know how I was reminded that we're on Spotify? I sent my daughter a message the other day and I was like, "Hey, can you bring me this?" And she was like, "Hold on, I'm listening to our podcast on Spotify."
She
She was
listens to you guys' own podcast.
No, she was just listening to us talk about Attack on Titan, the first episode, the first two episodes. Because anything that's premium, the first episode I put out for free to give free folks a taste of it and maybe entice them to subscribe. So I had just did that, and she was on Spotify, and she was like, "Oh, Spotify has podcasts," and she said we were there. So
Yeah.
I don't know if she was specifically
They
looking
ain't
for anime or whatever, but she found us.
they ain't
But
paying us nothing. We're not a big enough white male racist for them to pay
yeah,
us any money.
yeah, I know. I don't know. We got to get it. We got to. Why aren't there any cool liberal folks who want to sponsor podcasts of cool liberal people like us? Just, making conversation, trying to make the world a better place through laughter and community, but whatever. That's fine. Maybe if I deny my race, like Kundis Owens, that seems very lucrative, apparently, being a coon. But anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're going to shoot the shit. Again, if you're listening to this on any other place other than Patreon, that means you are only going to hear us talk about random stuff. You will not actually hear us discuss the Loki episode because that is for premium subscribers. If you want to become a premium subscriber, you can go over to patreon.com/podcastfandom and sign up. Also, a little bit of news because this just like occurred to me. I'm probably going to start putting the shoot the shits up on YouTube because one of the things that I've been doing now that I have all this ridiculous amount of free time is finally getting around to putting our catalog up on YouTube. And one of the things I love about doing this is it was like brought to my attention. Like, I don't think she was subtweeting me. God, I hope not. But I have a friend. I'm not going to say her name because I didn't talk to her beforehand about this. Although I'm 100% sure she wouldn't mind, but just in case. And she does a lot of work advocating for disabled folks. She's disabled herself, and she tweeted the other day, and I saw like the last tweet. It was like a long thread of other stuff, but like one of the last tweets was, which is what I saw first, was so like to my friends with podcasts, caption your shit, and I was like, huh? Because I was like, huh? Like, how would I caption? Like, I was legit like so confused as to what the hell, like how would I do that? And so she had like this thread, and I bookmarked it to look into later. But one of the first things on there as a way to do it was when you put your podcasts up on YouTube, you can enable the auto, it'll do auto caption for the
Mm-hmm.
language you choose. So
And
she was
it's
like, okay.
often very bad, but it's better than nothing.
Yeah, well, me personally, I don't have a problem when it's in English. I've not run into anything where, because I looked at ours, like after it went up, I ran through
Mm-hmm.
them, and I've like had it on by accident, because I've had it on for other videos, and then like it's just on. And when it's English, it's the only thing I don't like is that it doesn't say Nina, John, Donnie, whoever, like before they're speaking, if that makes sense. Like it doesn't say this is Nina talking now. It's
Hmm.
just, you know. Um but it's bad is when it's like for other languages.
Oh, well,
Google
maybe they've
ask.
improved it because I know before it was not very good. So
Yeah,
hopefully they've improved it.
the auto generated for other languages, like trying to it's a thing where Army just tells like reactors if it's a video that doesn't have captions already and it's in Korean, don't use auto generate because it's just the worst. Like it's translating. I don't know what the hell it thinks they're saying in Korean, but it is bad. But I haven't had that issue. But and this was listed as just one of many ways that you could do this, and it was kind of like the fastest and easiest one that I can do now, and it aligned with a goal that I already had, which was putting our back catalog up on YouTube. So that's what I've been doing. The I started with Game of Thrones because it's arguably like one of the more popular shows that we covered. And we didn't start covering that till season 4. So the entirety of season 4, all of those podcasts are now up on our YouTube channel, and I put up Loki, just the first episode, because again, when we start a show on premium, the first episode is made available to the free listeners. So I put that podcast up. I'm about to do WandaVision. It's like a whole thing because I have to take the file, I have to download it from Dropbox where I have, thank God I organized all those podcasts. They're just like, it's like by show, podcast fandom. Then it's like Scandal season 2, Scandal season 3, Game of Thrones. It's just folder, but I love it because I just know where everything is. So I went through, I had to download all of those podcasts again, put them into iMovie, get a photo, line it up, make the photo fit to frame, then upload that to YouTube. And then I looked at it and I was like, I think this could look better. So then I went and just made like just put like a banner on the thumbnails with the name of the show and the season in the
Hmm.
blue from our website. And I just did that to make it a bit more eye catching. And I would have to go to HBO site and get the photos for the episode. So and then it just takes a while for the stuff to process. So it took me about 3 days to get all 10 episodes of season 4 up there, plus one of Loki. So I'm steady going through it. I think the next show I'm gonna put up is maybe one season of The Walking Dead. I I'm mixing it up because I'll get bored if I just have to do Game of Thrones.
I mean, you have about 700
I know.
episodes.
I know. It's going to be a lot. This is a project, you guys. This is a project. But the good news is, as we're doing free shows, like as I'm doing, publishing the free podcast, I'm going to do the YouTube at the same time, so that I don't have to, you know what I mean? So,
Hmm.
Sweet Tooth is going to go up. Actually, that's probably the next one I'm going to do because we're doing the finale next week, right? No,
Hmm.
wait. Yes, next week. Fuck. Is today just Thursday?
Yep.
We talked about Sweet Tooth on Monday? It feels like
Yep.
it's been at least a week since we talked about Sweet Tooth instead of just like 3 or 4 days. That's crazy. But anyway, so yeah, so look out for that. If you haven't already, go to YouTube, and we are what are we? We're Project Fandom. I had to check. And for some reason it's like one word. Capital P, capital F, but it's one word, and I think that's because somebody had it separate, I think. Or I'm stupid. I don't know. But either
What
way,
do you mean on the thing? I don't
the
remember why. Yeah,
username
it
it's
was some reason. Yeah,
it's a reason, right? Yeah. I wonder
because
if
I
that's
know
something I can change now.
there was a project fandom that popped up after us,
Mhm.
but they squatted on some of the names. For Sherlock. You remember that?
No.
Yeah, it was like some Tumblr, I think, and it was like
I don't
Sherlock
remember.
Project Fandom or something like that.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, I do remember that. Yeah. So anyway,
Not
but
that they
I
did
mean,
anything wrong. I'm not
yeah,
saying they did
yeah,
anything
yeah.
wrong.
No, no, no. I know. But yeah, it's Project Fandom on YouTube. Please go and subscribe, and that would be amazing. And tell your friends to subscribe too. Um, all right. So we're gonna shoot the shit now before we talk about Loki. there's really only one thing I want to talk about, and if John hasn't watched it, I'm just gonna sit here and cry.
Well,
Fuck.
Star Trek. No, I watched 3 episodes.
How many?
3.
Okay, so we're talking about Attack on Titan because Kaylee and I are podcasting it on the premium show. And this is a fucking show that she has been trying to get me to watch for years and years and years and years and years and years. And we're finally watching it, and I absolutely love it. And people didn't know when I like started flooding the schedule with all these new stuff that we're going to be covering over the summer. They didn't know who's going to be on which podcast. So some of the feedback for Attack on Titan, the first few podcasts have been like, "Hey Nina, maybe John," and then people like, "Oh, I really wish John was here to talk about it because I think he would love it." And so I was just like, okay, maybe I can get him to watch like the first 2 episodes because I definitely have planned on showing it to Donnie. Well, Donnie has seen the first 10 episodes. I've seen the first 10 episodes and John has seen the first 3. So I am super, super, super curious to know. Donnie, don't spoil John on anything in case he likes it and he wants to continue watching. But just those 3 episodes, John, what did you think?
I liked it. I didn't love it. I thought, because the thing, like, I think the story's interesting. Obviously, like, it's very
terrifying, gross.
Well, I wasn't going to say that, but yeah, I guess it is kind of those things. Yeah, I guess historically or whatever in my experience with anime, I'm not a huge like action anime fan. Like,
really?
I did that, and that sounds like a dumb thing to say because like I like Dragon Ball Z, and like it's obviously action. It's in the action genre, but like I don't know, like and there is something about like the animation that I'm not a big fan of.
Really?
Yeah,
wow. All right, never mind. So Loki this week.
Got over here shitting all over it.
All over it. I'm just so grateful my child
is. I
isn't.
don't love it.
I'm so grateful my child is not here to be so disappointed.
I just said I like it. I just don't love it, and it is something that I'm interested in continuing to watch.
Okay.
I was just saying, like, I was watching it, and like I felt like some of the animation, like, it just kind of took me out of it a little bit because like there's a lot of still animation, like still frames.
So I actually love that, and I'm gonna like we've talked about this several times. I was telling Kaylee there's certain things that this show does, and I need to rewatch like the first 2 episodes. But I remember Felicia Rashad reprimanded by Howard University.
In what way?
What she get. I don't know.
Because I saw their what do you call it? Their the thing they put out, the message that they put out, whatever. It said like we don't like that. There's some shit, but we trust that our faculty is agrees with us and shit like that. I don't know. I don't remember exactly what it said.
They tweeted. They just basically, or I don't know if this is tweeted or like a statement, but they basically said
statement. That's the fucking word I was trying to.
What? Just give me any one. You're being weird. Thank you. John didn't like Attack on Titan.
Bullshit! Don't lie on me. Lie on me like this.
He liked it. He didn't love it. The animation style so far, he said he didn't like sometimes. Like the stop. But the thing that I said that I liked, which is what I was just about to tell him, the frame, like the still frame, I found the times that they've used it, it's almost always funny. I was just going to say, because I don't remember, he only watched the first 3, so I don't remember in what way they used it in those first 3, but I have distinct memories of later episodes, the way they've used it, that was fucking hilarious. So I want to go back in the first 2 and see, but go ahead.
The thing that I was really thinking of is like when they do panning shots, and it's clearly like to save time, and money and effort,
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that, because like it's a large shot and they just pan over like a crowd of people and it's not animated, it's a still
Oh, you
frame.
don't like that? Okay.
No, I mean it's fine. It's just like it happens a lot, and then
Panning over a still
at
frame.
one point, do you remember I think it's in the first episode when they have
Mm-hmm.
like a
Oh, never mind.
bell
Student, come back.
that starts ringing.
Oh my
And,
god.
and it was like a CGI bell, and I was like, they animated the fuck out of that bell.
Oh my
It's
god,
like,
he's complaining about the bell. I was like,
I'm
that
not
bell looks.
complaining about it.
I said that bell looks good.
It did look good, but I was like, I just imagine they're like, do we want to animate this crowd? No, focus on the bell.
There's a couple, yeah. Throughout the show, I think there was another one that I was like, God damn, that's animated really well.
And it's like it's clear, like I think it's clear. Like I say that as someone who's not an animator,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it's clear that like the bell, for instance, is like computer generated, like it's computer animated,
Mm-hmm.
and they're using that. It's a great. I really like the style of like having CGI and crossing it over with 2D animation. I think that's interesting. I just thought it was funny that I had just noticed that they were doing a lot of panning shots where they
Okay.
weren't animating it, and then they show the bell, and I was like, it just was
All
funny to
right,
me. I
tell me
didn't
what you
dislike it.
liked.
I thought that I like the premise
Mm.
of the idea that this is like uh whatever the fuck's going on.
Right,
Like
right.
I'm not sure if it's like post-apocalyptic it's supposed to be, or if it's supposed to be like I think this is how things have always been. Like
Listen, my theory, which I can
hmm
tell you without spoiling anything, because you've seen 3 episodes now. My theory is that this shit is like, remember The Village? I was
hmm
explaining the plot of The Village to Kaylee last night. And I'm like,
Gotta show her the village. She hasn't watched the village.
no, I
That's
ruined it though.
actually a good,
Or Wayward Pines.
She's not gonna watch The Village now. You're like, I literally told her the whole movie, but but it reminds me like maybe in the future, like humans fucked around and found out and was trying to cure some disease or something, and they made these fucking titans, and then they did this thing where it's like to like hide or something. I don't know. Haven't
hmm
fully thought it through, but it just feels like, because I'm like looking at some of the like, it feels weird saying technology, but yeah, some of the technology or some of the clothes that we were watching the other day, and I was like, that man's wearing a fucking cardigan. The year is 850. Why does he have a cardigan with plastic buttons? There
John
was
Cena.
a house with wallpaper. I'm like, what?
The first time they showed the father and his glasses, and I was like, and he had
Yes.
the little nose, things. I was like, the fuck, they didn't have those back then. Like that's they they didn't have
See,
The
that's
little
those
nose
things
guard.
and all that.
Yeah.
and that's what I mean. Is like whatever. I guess it seems like it's supposed to be post-apocalyptic. Like these titans, wherever they came from somewhere. And so like I like the premise. I think
So,
it's in, and
okay. Mm.
I like the narration. I like the fact that it feels like Terminator, like
Yeah,
that kind
yeah,
of thing
yeah,
where they're
yeah.
like, and then this is what happened, And then I like that, I've only seen 3 episodes and I've already seen like 2 years of shit because like this kid has aged
Yeah.
up.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah.
Like I liked that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so I like a lot of
Okay.
it. I mean, I liked the I like that I don't know what the fuck's going on. Like
Yeah, me too.
I like that I'm like I don't know what to
Well, let me
expect.
tell
I
you.
don't know
We're 10 episodes in and we still don't know what the fuck's going
Yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And
exactly.
listen, but not like in a bad way. You know how
No,
sometimes we've
a lot
covered
more
shows
shit
on the
happens that
podcast.
just
Yeah.
takes the story sideways, and you're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, we've covered shows before where we're just like, I just don't know what's going on, and I don't think I like it.
Mhm.
But like here, I don't know what's going on, but I love it.
Mhm.
Um,
And I'm kind of borderline on like the designs of like the Titans. Like
mhm,
I like it, and especially like the colossal one or whatever the fuck they call it.
mhm,
I
mhm.
but at the same time, it's like it's very creepy. It is not a thing that I would be like, ooh, I gotta watch this, because it's the kind of thing where I'm like, I don't want to be creeped out all the time.
Yeah, whenever they show up, and that's the thing. So I'm gonna address just a couple of things. Like one of Kaylee's sitting here because she's like auditing this whole conversation, trying to decide if she's ever gonna talk to you again. But you don't like action anime. I will say, I feel like you're getting into the part where there was like 2 episodes where I thought there wasn't a lot of action. So you watched episode 3. I'm trying to remember what happens in episode 3. Oh, you said 2 years passed, so they go into training, right?
Right.
Yeah, he's in training. He just passed the "I'm hanging on the thing" test.
He just passed the "I'm hanging on the thing" test. I like these episodes. Go ahead.
They were like, oh, he did it with the broken belt. Holy shit. I get a lot of like My Hero Academia vibes.
Yeah. What was that line? It's like his eyes are saying, check me out. It's like, okay.
That was so funny. And that was the thing. I started watching on Netflix, and I was like, they ain't got English dubs on here. So luckily I was like, oh, I can just watch it on Funimation.
No, they do.
Yeah, that's how we watch it.
We're watching the English dubs on Netflix.
I didn't. Whenever I tried to turn it on, it said the only audio it had was the original. So
wow,
racism.
Racism. It's not dubbed on Netflix for him, so he had to go to Funimation. So the action, I do feel like these next 2 episodes, or really the one that you watched, then the next one, I feel like there's a lot of like character growth, especially as you're getting to know these recruits, because it's like a lot of names and stuff. And I thought that, like, in retrospect, like when we were going into podcasts, that I was like, oh yeah, like this is probably gonna be like not that exciting, I just thought they were good episodes though. Like, and then episode 4, like the end of episode 4. If you watch episode 4 and don't immediately watch 5, you're not human, because that ending is gonna blow you away. And then after that, it is just gotta watch one more. It's ridiculous, John. So I do think, and I think the part where we stopped at 10 because we got to record for that on Sunday, so I can't watch more until after Sunday. But I feel like the stopping point where we're at now, even though it's this arc that's about to kick off with what you're watching, where you're about to start watching, it's like 9-episode arc. I feel like we're about to get into the slow part of the arc for an episode or 2, but again, slow like episode 3 and 4 were to me, which aren't that slow at all, but it's not all action. Like the stuff that's happening that's interesting isn't just running around slicing and tightening and stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of, you're going to see a lot more of the world, right? And meet other people, like that type of stuff. So I do think that I know the show has it, so hopefully it'll be enough to kind of keep you interested. And I would just tell you what people had told me was just like the world building, the character development, and just like the twists and turns. Like, especially coming out of Game of Thrones, this is again one of those shows that people were like, yeah, this is a show you want to watch because they actually did this way better than Game of Thrones. That, like, the machinations and stuff, you know? But yeah, so from those episodes, I just want to say one of my favorite parts, I actually called episode 3, I remember what the real name is because those episode titles are long as fuck, was I said AKA An Officer and a Gentleman. Because whenever you have like a movie where there's like a drill instructor tearing them down, you know, and he does that thing where he just goes down the line fucking with everybody. But that scene was so funny to me when fucking Sasha bit that potato.
Oh, Potato Girl, yeah.
Yes! And he runs over to her and he's like, you are officially on my shit list.
And she's like, I was just in the room and it was how I wanted to, it was too big of a waste.
I gave it shelter in my stomach, sir. And he was like, and then he goes, the theft, I understand. He goes, but why would you eat it here? She's like, are you asking why people eat potatoes?
I would have thought you would know this. I didn't know.
Oh my God. I love her so
Here,
much.
you can have half of it.
It just I'm and oh, I think one thing I'm picking up on just 10 episodes in, the women on the show, the girls, they're badasses. They're just like my favorite
Yeah, that's how it
characters.
started. It was like when the mom was like, protect him, and then the guy, what's his name, Aaron?
Mhm. Mhm.
When he was like running at that other guy
Yeah.
who was picking on the other kid.
Yes.
And then the kid was like, the guy was like, I don't give a shit about you. But then the girl was
But
there,
then
and he was like, oh
Mikasa
shit,
started
she's here.
running, and they were like, "Oh shit, she's with him." And they were scared of her.
Uh-huh.
I do. I like also too. The when the mother was crushed under the house, and Hannes came, and he was like, "I'm gonna go slay this Titan." And he took one look at that thing, and next thing you know, he just put his sword back and he grabbed them kids, and he was out.
He was like, "Yep, well, I'll see you later."
He didn't say another goddamn word, right? He didn't even say, "Y'all coming with me, say goodbye to your mom." Nothing. He was like, "Gotta go," just zoop zoop.
And that was I liked that, and that led to a thing that I don't like how many people are like, I'm a coward. You're a coward. We're all
Yeah.
cowards. Why are we such cowards?
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are you so hung up on this? They're fucking Titans. You should be scared.
Yeah. Yeah. And are you picking up on, because I think they've touched on it a little bit. Are you picking up on the fact that like the it's basically like bossing say, right? Like all of the rich influential people are like in the center, so safest. And then if you are training to get into these different fields, the elites, the best of the best, when they graduate, they automatically go there because the rich people want to make sure they're protected by the best. And it's like, God, nothing ever changes. Like, or even in the first or the second episode when they were talking about the outliers and how their escape plan is basically fucked because they all got to go through that one fucking tunnel.
And how they intentionally built those communities outside to draw Titans to them.
Yep.
Because they were like, fuck these people.
Yep. And so like stuff like that, when they start digging into that stuff, I think you'll dig it.
So that's the thing is like that's the part that I liked, and so like the plot part of it I thought was really interesting, and like you said, it was similar to Bossing Say, and it's it's the way that we're spoiling the first 3 episodes.
Yeah, okay? I mean if they hadn't got that, the show is 8 years old also.
so like when the mom died, like you said, she died, but like the way she died. When the Titan was like, oh, nom.
He broke her like a Kit Kat jar first because she was struggling.
And then went breaking off a piece. And then when he's watching and he's like, no, let's go back. And then when she gets eaten, he's like, well, shit. He stops.
Like the thing actually, like you keep like stop to swallow her. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was so, like, every bit of it was just incredibly terrifying and unnecessarily just cruel to witness. Like, just those little details. The fact that he watched all of that was just like,
it was funny because when I started watching on Funimation, they were like, you got to go to your profile and turn on mature shit because you can't watch this.
Holy shit.
Because it's mature.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I had to go there and turn that on. So I could watch them. I was like, what are they going to show? Dicks? Like, what are they going to do? Which is possible because I knew the show. I knew enough about the show to know that there's a lot of like potentially naked things.
Yeah. I didn't realize that they didn't have genitalia, like, going into it. Like, it's just something that just escaped my... I knew they were naked.
Yeah, so that kind of lends credence to the idea that they were created, because like how the fuck are they reproducing?
Exactly. But yeah, I just have so many questions and of course theories, and it's I swear I just fun moments that I just laugh out loud. It feels like so funny in some ways that it's just wickedly smart. And you've seen it. Like, one thing I did like with the animation, like, it took like a second to get used to, but like when she gets in trouble for the potato, and when she comes home and that girl's waiting with the bread for her, like, she literally turned into like a wolf. Like,
that's the shit I like.
I like that. Yeah, me too. Because at first I didn't know that was just like an animation thing. You get what I mean? Like, I was like,
It's
did
like
this
when the
bitch
guy
really
sees,
just?
like when the man sees the pretty woman and
I
he
t-
turns into a wolf or something, or he
Yeah,
turns
I
into
told
a
Kaylee that
whistle.
on the Attack on Titan podcast. I was like, or when it's like the eyes come out, ooga, or when they turn into the food they want to eat.
Mhm.
Yeah, like that. It took me back for a second, but then I realized, oh no, it's just and then she passes out when
Yeah,
she
she
looks
eats
at
it
it.
and she
Yeah,
passes out. It was like the scene in Spirited Away
yeah,
when
yes,
she was
yes,
eating that food.
yes.
It was
So
so
like that,
satisfying.
type of stuff. Like I was like, I like that it inserts that, or anytime Mikasa just had enough of Aaron's shit, she just hauls off and hits him or something. Because
Yeah,
when
like
she when he was
when he was treating the other guy, the
yes,
blonde kid, like shit, and he was like,
yes,
"You're not taking it out on him. We're all cowards." And I was
yeah,
like, "Yes, yes, you are."
yes, and she was like, now eat it, and she shoved it in
But
his
she
mouth.
shoved it, and they stayed on there for an uncomfortable amount of time.
Yes, they really did.
It was like she was putting a pacifier in his mouth. You
There's
know
like,
what?
God,
I was gonna say, like, I'm reminded. It reminds me of, just in terms of the look of it. It reminds me of the comic book Nailbiter.
yeah, I love that. I reviewed it.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Especially like the Titans, especially like the Titan,
Yeah,
the guy, when
yeah, I can
like
see
you
that.
said, he saw the Titan and ran away.
Mhm.
I was like, that looked like, especially like the richest grin that they all have, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah. I didn't see that before, but I see it now. Yeah.
It's like
Um.
I just picture them like eating fingernails off of hands.
Oh God, there was one other thing I wanted to say about. Oh, I wanted to ask you. From what you've seen, I don't remember if it's 3 or 4, but it's not like a huge thing. Did you see a thing about a book that Armin showed Aaron? Like somebody they one of them is like remembering when they were kids, and he showed him a book.
Um, I don't remember.
Okay, then it probably didn't happen.
But yeah,
It,
I remember like the one scene that was, it was like the first scene that was like, oh, this is more than it seems, was like
Mm.
when they do like the where he's like, oh, there's a key inside of you or some shit,
yes.
and I was like, what the
Yeah.
fuck is this?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
he's wearing the key now.
Yeah, and that was the so it's funny because Kaylee was like, I don't think I caught that like the first time she watched it because remember when the dad leaves, he's like, when I come back, maybe I'll show you. He has the key, but then when Aaron, it feels like it's the first night when they get away on the boats. It feels like the first night he has that dream, and his father's like, hold still, and he's gonna inject him with something, right? And he's like, you have to remember, and then when Aaron wakes up from the dream, he has the key. And
Yeah,
I'm like, how did he get the key? When did he see his dad? So I was like, is that there? And then, oh, in that dream, when he's yelling at his dad, he says, you've gone off the deep end since mom died. So I'm like, oh, that is, it's not like a memory from before. And this is when they woke up in the morning, and one of the guards was like talking shit because he didn't like that they were eating their food. So that felt like the
hmm.
next day to me, right? But they're saying that some time passed and Aaron has seen his dad but doesn't remember seeing his dad, and at some point gave him that key, right?
I don't know.
Oh,
I know that I would assume some time has passed from them
right.
being on the boat to when
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
scene happens where that guy's being a dick.
Oh my God. Yeah.
But then at the same time, like, that kid comes up and says, "My grandpa tricked him into some extra bread," and I was like,
Yeah.
"Keep it quiet! Like, everybody's starving. Like, what are you doing?"
How fucked up was it though that they sent 250,000 people to reclaim that area and less than 200 returned of the refugees? I was like, but then, and then I think the voiceover said something like, but it did solve the food problem. Remember? Because they were like, how are we going to feed all these
Yeah,
refugees? Yeah.
I don't know.
And
Did that happen yet?
yeah, you're in episode 3.
Yeah, I
It's,
mean, I don't
it's
remember. Like,
before they enlisted, before they go into training. Because
okay.
that's how Armin's grandfather dies. Because
Oh,
it's,
you
I
keep
don't know if
saying
you.
names, and like the one name I know is Aaron.
Oh, I'm sorry. Armin is their blonde little friend.
Oh, the blonde kid. Okay.
Yeah, the blonde kid. Yeah, and so he was with his grandfather on the boat. I don't know if you remember, but
Yeah,
um
and he was like, "Don't call to them. You don't know what they've seen."
exactly. So the after the that whatever that night, there's like a voiceover period where Armin is saying, because that's who's narrating, and so he's saying, um, there was a concern like how all of these people now have to live here, um, and we can't feed everybody, and its tensions are high or whatever. And so what they did was they had people sign up, like enlist to go try to reclaim that area. I was like, what? Like, reclaim it? Like, go fight Titans? That's what that sounds like, right? And they said they sent out 250,000, less than 200 return, and one of them was Armin's grandfather. And then they show Armin sitting there like clutching the hat, and it's after that that he decides to enlist. So sorry, I didn't spoil
Oh,
you.
got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Kaylee and I were talking about that, and she was I was like, like basically, like, would they do that on purpose? And I'm like, no, but I do think that that's something you would consider, right? Like, if you're like somebody has to go out there and try to reclaim it. On the plus side, if they reclaim it, yay, we win. But if they die, less mouths to feed. It's kind of a win-win.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it is.
Anyway,
and that was the thing is like they said they had to go because they weren't able to grow anything where they were, right?
Right.
One was dead or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you talk about like Armin being the person telling the story. It reminds me of 300 and
I never seen that.
Dilios being the one who's like the narrator.
I've never seen that.
He's like the guy. he's like the one who tells the story. Who like because nobody survived the Battle of Thermopylae.
Okay, right,
except for him.
Okay.
And so he's the one guy who's back in Sparta, telling everybody all what happened. So like the idea is that like is it true or not? Who knows? But he's the one who's telling the story.
Got it. All right. Are you gonna continue watching it?
Probably.
Okay. Good. I will tell Kaylee that it is okay to speak to you again.
Oh, you were like, you didn't like it. I was like, that's bullshit.
No.